There are 3 tests available right now to test whether you have the COVID-19 or not. The first one is a nasopharyngeal swab, the second one is a saliva test, and the third one is a blood test. So let me explain to you what each one of them is. The first one is a nasopharyngeal swab. So what it is a long, thin, flexible plastic tube with a little cotton ball at the end. What you do is you stick this up your nose all the way until the back wall, and then you get a really good swoop on the back because that's where the viruses like to reside. So after you take a big swoop, then you withdraw it and see if there are any virus particles in the sample. This is not a painful test, but definitely it's uncomfortable because nothing should ever be back there. The second test is a saliva test. So what you'll be given is a bottle. You go home and the next morning before you brush your teeth, before you eat or drink, you try to produce a really good saliva sample from the depth of your throat. So you'll try to mimic a gargling sound but without the gargling solution. So on your own, you try to do something like this. And you try to produce a saliva sample and we look whether there's any virus particles in there. Now obviously it depends on technique. If you have a negative sample, it means maybe the test is negative because you don't have the coronavirus, but it could also be due to poor technique and therefore poor sampling. So this is something that you have to be aware of. The third test is fairly new. It's a blood test. We take blood directly from your body to look for evidence of the immune response mounting up against the COVID-19. We're not actually looking directly for the virus particles per se, but we're indirectly looking for the antibodies. So if you have these antibodies, it's reasonable to believe that you're probably under attack by the coronavirus. But the interesting thing is, if you don't have these antibodies, one reason could be you don't have the virus, but another reason could be because you just haven't yet mounted an immune response to it. So the timing of the test is important and it's something that you and your doctor have to consider. An important thing that I want to remind you is that these tests are very, very new. I mean, after all, the coronavirus has only been there for a couple of months, as far as we know. So these tests are subject to error, and timing is also a factor. So that's why we've heard reports where people have been positive and then negative, and vice versa. So this is just something that will improve over time, I am sure, and I just want you to understand that at the moment, this is just the best that we have for the time being. Other than the accuracy of the test, I also want to remind you that there are certain implications of the test. If you do test positive, because this is a notifiable disease, we have an obligation to report you to the Department of Health. It is just for the safety of everyone, so if you do test positive, you will get a call and you may be transported and quarantined in a hospital. Same thing with your close ones or family, and also you will have to contact trace. It's a social responsibility and we have a duty to tell you before you perform the test. Now, to do the test or not to do the test, first and foremost, should be judged by symptoms. If you have symptoms, go see your doctor to see whether you're suitable for the test. If you don't have symptoms and you're worried, but you think you actually may not have it, but you just want to be tested and you just want a peace of mind, then understand that testing is complicated. So I hope that this has helped you make an informed decision, and so thank you very much for watching.